Hello, everybody. Oh, my throat is really dry. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Excuse me as I take a drink of water. I've been talking a lot today. I've been doing a lot of recording, re-recording, and whatnot. So have you. And the reason I am here doing this right now, this is pre-recorded already because I already did this, and I did this already because I did it let me make it. I did it earlier today, and my camera slash audio for me did not work. So today we're going to be taking a look, making a highlight video here, post recording. So I'm going to turn the audio on here. I don't think you guys can see the HUD, but you can see my mouse turning into hand and stuff. This is the video captured. Why is my hand still here? Whatever. So first things first, I wanted to get some... I don't know why the frames are so bad for doing this, but they are. It's got to be said. Anyway, I wanted to do some inventory management, figure out what the heck is going on with some of these weapons I have, and how I want to upgrade them, and what do I want to do with them, which ones I want to potentially keep and practice with. I'm going to do a little skipping around here, a little seeking. I don't know if that pops up for you, probably not. But you can see my mouse turns into a hand in the bottom left. I'm going to be doing a little skippage, running around. And the frames are actually going to be pretty bad, so I'm trying to keep this short and sweet and to the point. So I wanted to come back here, first of all. This is the beginning of the game, if you recognize. And to the left here, there is a guy with a weapon that I want to try and test out. So... Oh, I also found that there was, those two items I never got. These frames are really bad. I'm going to try to make this as quick and sweet as possible. Short and sweet as possible. So there's that guy over there. Basically, long story short, we fight him. I start using my soul arrows because I found out he's really hard to actually fight in a 1v1, straight up. He does a lot of damage still to me. I'm down to one Estus flask, and he still has 2/3 of his health. So we fast forward a little bit. I was running around. I'm out of Estus, and I just decide to spam my soul arrows from a safe distance. Eventually, he succumbs. And he drops the Ujigatana, and as well as some pretty shitty equipment. So I go ahead and... sit down again. I swing it around a few times, testing it out. That guy has a giant chef's hat. I remember I commented on that. That's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty weird that I actually stopped at the point that I saw him. I decide to go somewhere over here to test out the Ujigatana a little bit. So here we are. I am also going to check out the downwards way of the elevator, the below point. I also wanted to put my binoculars on and test them out. So I did this. I did a little binoculars testing. I'm pressing the wrong button to zoom in. I finally figure out which button it is. And there's our friend up there shooting his great bow arrow. If you pay attention, you can't actually see the arrow come out. It doesn't actually look like he has an arrow notched in there either. And there's a lot of crows flying around up there, which is, I guess, something else I talked about. So here I am testing out the Ujigatana. It has a, I commented it has a nice sweeping motion, that I like that. It can hit multiple enemies in one strike as opposed to the thrusting jabbing of the first weapon we were using. It's not as big of a sweep, I think, as the axe is, but it's good. Later on, I also notice, and you may notice here, maybe, if the frames weren't so bad. Jesus Christ. This is going to be so hard to watch. I'm sorry for anybody that's watching. But the third hit, the third or fourth hit usually has a bonus, like, extra amount of damage latched onto it. And the reason that is because if you ever take a look in the menu, the Ujigatana has a bleed effect attached to it. So we learned here, because as I'm fighting these bigger guys, I die a lot, unfortunately. I start fighting them. I get the bleed effect on me a few times, and it basically is not a slow bleed. I guess that's what poison is supposed to be like, but it blood loss. See, you immediately lose a chunk of your health, like, right away, and that killed me a few times here. I get my stuff back. I start getting better with the Ujigatana, fighting some people. Eventually, we come down here to the Frost Man. I think he beats me the first time. I don't know if this is the first or second time I'm fighting him. I poke him with the arrows a little bit. Then I sit here, and he's kind of like stuck in the door. So I'm like, all right, what are you doing? Stuck in the door here. He's like goofing off a little bit. All right. I'm not really good at post-commentary. I'm sorry. I had to do this with Chrono Trigger too. And oh my lord, the frames. Dancing around a little bit. I actually go hand in hand with him. I didn't realize that this kept going and like hit you a little bit. So there's that. He is kind of wild a little bit. I roll into that one, unfortunately. Keep rolling here in hopes to just dodge all of his attacks. And then Estus up. Eventually, I think he just kills me flat out. Where's that going to be at? I get frosted. Oh, he pins me down in the corner over here. I'm frostbitten here. I don't know what that means. I have 2 health. Look at this, and I keep rolling, and then I couldn't go anywhere. So we fast forward a little bit, and I go back down, and you see a few arrows stuck inside of him. That's because I was just laying into him. Also, I'm trying to throw some fire bombs at him. He goes back because I don't want to fight him again straight up. So then we come over here. I pelt him with a few arrows. He gets stuck in the door, so I take advantage of this again. Shoot him in the butt a few times, shoot him in the head a few times. He gets pretty low, and I say, you know what? I'm going to do this honorably. I'm going to kill him with a melee strike. And then he starts going crazy, and I'm like, holy shit, maybe this was a bad idea. But I get him in the end. I was scared for my butt. Sorry, there's no... the audio for me was also tied to the face cam, so sorry, there's not going to be any face cam to go along with this. We come over here, and we open the door, and what do we find? The next area. That is what we find. This is where we're going to be from now on. I decide to do a little gesture. I'm like, this is where we're going forward in the game. But I point up, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to point straight forward. There we go. And I'm like, oh, man, I tried to be cool, and then I goofed it up. Shit, the frames. I'm only getting like 15 frames. Oh my god. Imagine trying to play the game like this. Road of Sacrifices is where we end up. We go around the corner. There's some harpy crazy people. Scary. So I'm terrified of him, obviously. He's jumping around doing some crazy ass attacks. So I'm really terrified. He almost kills me. I run around the tree, drink up. I end up killing him. I decide to explore a little bit more before I go back and like level up and restock. There's one down there. I drop on him. I take a look at the menus. I picked up this thing over here, and it resets any infusions you may have made on your weapons. I pick up a few other things. I fight a few more of them. There's a sorcerer over there that this guy, he wakes him up. They go crazy. One guy jumped off the cliff. The other guy's coming over here towards me. You see that third hit did a big chunk of damage. We continue. There's a secret path down here. So I'm like, all right, I gotta roll down there. I end up appraising the message that tells you to go down there. Coming back to it after looking around, you take a little bit of damage on that one. I was like, oh, I'll make it. And then I died from falling. So, there's that. That's the guy screaming, make them all go crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to go through this as quick as possible because the frames are so bad. I finally jump down here. That guy says, losing sanity. I'm like, okay, what the heck? There's nobody down here, and there's nowhere else to go. What could you be losing your sanity over? You walk up here, and there's some crazy bitch that just kind of strolls up, and she's, like, naked, almost. And she just walks up. I'm like, are you an NPC? No. She just starts going crazy. She just walked up like she owned the place. She keeps doing this, too. I don't know what that is, but I'm afraid of it. She keeps sharpening it. And she heals when she hits you with a sharpened blade like that, which kind of sucks. Also, I'm out of Estus heals at this point, so I'm like super scared of losing to her. I'll play this out as much as I can. I get a nice jab in while she's doing that, because it's a free moment to attack. She hits me through the shield, because my shield doesn't block all of the damages. She does that. I don't know what that is. I dodge it. She tries kicking me. I'm at 0 health now. And I'm like, all right, I got to just man up. And it's all or nothing, baby. I'm either going in. She keeps sharpening her blade. I keep hitting her. Backing off, letting my stamina regen. Hit her twice. And there she goes. She's down. There's clutch 1 HP. I make a funny face here. Funny laugh looking at my HP. I'm like, ho, 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 sort of thing. And, yeah, I soak it in for a little bit. There's some brigand weapons and armor here. Probably stuff I'm not going to use. I use a homeward bone. I go back. We level up, I think, strength and vitality once each. It ends up being. I take a look at some of these things and comparing, contrasting. I sell some of these items. I think I sell the cleric stuff, a lot of the strength weapons that I have. Eventually, I go forward, and I'm interested in this thing. Eventually, I go forward, and I pick these up there, too. They're twin daggers. They're pretty cool. I'm going to upgrade this twice. So it's an Uji Katana +2 now. This guy talks about how he used to be a thief, and he wants to go, you know, do his thing. And me, oh, is that yet? Did he do that yet? Or not? No, he didn't. Eventually, we come back and we talk to him, and he's like, hey, I want to be a thief. Let me do my thing. Me being an assassin character, deciding to RP it, I'm like, all right, you're a thief. You want to go be thievery? I totally get it. We're pretty similar. So I'm like, all right, yeah, go thievery stuff. But I highly assume that him doing that is going to lead to some NPC either dying or getting pissed off at me for him stealing stuff, and maybe an optional boss fight that I don't want to fight, or some dick NPC. So I'm going around through here again. I have all my Estus flasks when I come out the other side, which is good. There's another bridge, another guy over here screaming. I comment on how that cliff looks pretty doo-doo. Then we come down here, and there's two guys down here. We got that guy who just growls at me, gives me the blue sentinels thing. He just growls. I talk to him again. And then she says some things.
Oh, hello. How do you do?
So I'll let this play out.
I am Anri of Astora, unkindled like you. This is Horace, a friend and travelling companion. Are you too in search of the Lords of Cinder? We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Woods. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the Undead Legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We seek the cathedral, home of the grim Aldrich. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in a time of need. May the flames guide your way. Oh yes, Horace. He's not very talkative, but don't think ill of him. He's an upstanding, kind-hearted knight, a fine partner for this grueling journey. Without his help, I would have cursed this onerous duty long ago.
So, all those places she talked about are really lovely sounding places, aren't they? Also, I talked to Horse again. He gives me a really nasty scowl sort of thing, which I don't appreciate. If he's friendly, which I believe he is friendly, I mean, they're two companions. I wanted to join them and be a third musketeer sort of trio thing, but they weren't really offering. They weren't having any of that. And Horse does not really have a friendly grunt to him. So over here, there's a place you can drop down. There's 2 dogs, and a few items. So we dispatch the dogs. I'm scared of dying here. Also, he falls through the ground somehow there into the wall. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And I was like, all right, that's pretty pro, right? You guys can't do that. I bet any of you guys can't be as pro as me because you can't do that. Anyway, we come over here. We get the items. The first one being, what was the first one? Ah, that. It was the Braille Divine Tome of Kareem. We can give that to the blind lady so she can learn better miracles. There's the thing. You can pause the video. Sorry, I went past it pretty quick. The other thing we pick up is that ring. It boosts miracles, which we're never going to use. So, we ventured onwards, and there's some guys with some giant sticks here. We're at 2 frames per second, 4 frames per second. There's a big swamp. There's a bunch of crabs. There's this guy I killed. Super fast mode. Those things, those creatures, you might recognize them from Dark Souls 2. Oh my god, this is so bad. Eventually, I find another bonfire down here. There's a giant crab there, too. And I go back. I'll go back, I level up once. Excuse me. And, this lady showed up. Out of nowhere. Nobody invited her. I don't know why she's here, but she's here now. She's like, I don't want to talk to you. So, I mean, there's that. I give her the Braille Tome. I check out her new miracles. Some of them sound pretty cool, but they sound like they are more utility rather than, you know, offensive stuff that you want to be using. So it sounds like the cleric class is actually going to be... It sounds like the cleric class is actually fairly difficult, and props to anybody that can pull it off. I mean, besides the self-healing that you're allowed, it seems pretty difficult. And then I end it. And next time we go back to the Crucifixion Woods, and I'll see you guys there. And so long.